Shingaree everyone, Megan Scanlon here on the M1 with some good news for Gold Coasters. Canberra has finally listened and now we have more money for exit 41 and 49, and also money has been brought forward for the Varsity Lakes to Tugun M1 upgrades. This means more jobs. It means these projects can get underway as soon as possible, which will relieve congestion for Gold Coast motorists.
Jim Madden at the Mount Crosby Road Warrego Highway interchange, and I'm here celebrating the great news that the Premier has secured 80% funding for the $22 million upgrade of this very important interchange. I was here in June with the Deputy Premier and Treasurer Jackie Trad, where she committed the 20% funding from the state government that allowed the negotiations with the federal government to proceed. This is great news and it was a great team effort.
Hey everybody, it's great to see Canberra finally giving Far North the fair share it deserves. Together with the Premier, we have been calling on the federal government to fast-track funding for key projects in our communities so we can get started sooner. Today's announcement by the federal government will see $97.5 million brought forward for the Cooktown to Weipa roads of strategic importance initiative, relieving congestion stress and creating more jobs for Far North Queenslanders. We've achieved so much with the Cape York Regional Package in boosting local jobs, business and connectivity in our communities. Now, we are still working through the details of how that funding will be used. Until then, stay tuned. But I want you to know that I will always fight for our fair share from Canberra.
Hey, my name's Michael Healy. I'm the very proud member for Cairns. Today I'm standing on the corner, or at the back of me at least, Canny and Draper Streets in Cairns. This is part of the southern access into our city and where we are spending hundreds of millions of dollars upgrading access. This is important infrastructure. Not only is it important for the growth of our city, but it's fantastic for local jobs. We have local contractors out here and local workers. Vitally important. The Premier has announced today that in conjunction with the federal government, we will see increased spending and the free flowing of money, which was announced a while ago, but it's going to be coming a lot sooner. It's great for our city, it's good for infrastructural growth, and it's important for jobs. A good outcome. Well done to the Premier. Good to see when governments work together, we get great outcomes.
Okay, it's great news that the Premier, Annastacia Palaszczuk, has brokered a deal with the federal government to deliver $2 billion worth of road infrastructure across Queensland. This is going to be fantastic news for central Queensland because more road funding means improved infrastructure, but it also means more jobs and a growing economy.
Yeah. And look, it's all about future-proofing Rockhampton. If we see the Rockhampton Ring Road start sooner, that's just so wonderful for jobs locally and great for CQ. It's a great place.
Hi, I'm Nikki Boyd. I'm the state member for Pine Rivers. I'm here today at Linkfield Road. As you can see behind us, there's already work started from the state government funded project which will lock in a northbound turning lane onto the Gympie Arterial Road. But today, really excitingly, there's been an announcement from the federal government that they will bring forward their portion of funding to duplicate Linkfield Road. Previously, we knew that it wasn't going to be until 2026 that the federal funding for this essential bottleneck would be delivered. We know it's critical to fix Linkfield Road. Businesses in Brendale rely on it. Families commuting to and from work rely on it every single day. And this duplication will mean less time stuck in traffic, in your car, and more time with your family. Thank you to everyone who signed on to our campaign. Whether you came along to market stalls, whether we knocked on your door, whether you saw us out and about and signed on electronically, thank you to those people who campaigned and petitioned to get the federal government to bring forward their portion of funding. It's really exciting for our community. We did it, well done, and thank you.
G'day, good news today that Linkfield Road, it might be happening sooner than we thought. So we've been pressuring the federal government for months now to bring forward their funding. They had it only expected to start coming in 2026, many years away, 7 years away. But today we've heard an announcement from the Prime Minister that they're bringing forward that money. So that's great news. It could still be sooner, and we'll keep pushing them, but it's great to hear for now that some of their funding is going to come into a reasonable time frame. So we're getting on with the interim works at the moment, and the long scale project will be done sooner than expected. So this is great news for people who want to get home, people who want to get to JB Hi-Fi, to Bunnings quicker, wherever you're going on the north side. It's a good announcement, and I'll keep fighting for more road projects, more transport projects delivered sooner in the Aspley election. Cheers.
Fantastic news for the Mackay region. The Premier, Annastacia Palaszczuk, has secured $50 million of federal funding so we can get started planning for that Ring Road Stage 2. We've renamed this project the Mackay Port Access Road. This means that we will have that seamless supply chain from Paget, our engineering area, all the way out there to our Great Harbour. It also means that our local roads are going to be safer, putting all of those heavy machinery and big trucks out there on the Ring Road. This also means a pipeline of jobs for Mackay families. We finish Ring Road Stage 1, start on the Walkerston Bypass, and then start on the new Port Access Road. That means years and years of jobs for local families. This is fantastic for our whole region.